Jadro, known in Solin as Rika, in addition to creating a city and life in the city, was an inexhaustible source of industrial plants in Solin, namely, from the very beginning of Solin, that is to say, Roman Salona, the river Jadro, which in its short course of only 4.5 kilometers is extremely rich in water, very quickly realized its potential. When it comes to mills and mill buildings, we find the first traces in the ancient Salona, that is, the use of the river's potential for some industrial purposes. The very question of mills and mill buildings leads back to the Middle Ages, the Old Croatian period, to the Venetian period and the Turkish times, until the end of the 19th century. The river Jadro, due to its numerous tributaries and dilatations, that is to say difference in height, was suitable for the construction of mill plants. Throughout history, we record through various documents, maps, traditions, grants, the existence of as many as 15 mills. Till nowadays, along with other tributaries on the river Jadro, we have either in traces or preserved 9 mills, from the source to Our Lady's Isle, where throughout history were concentrated most of these mills. Among the most representative mills is the one where we are located right now, Gašpina mill, as well as Velika Galija, which is located in the center of Solin, and Mala Gabričeva, which many documents claim to be the oldest living mill. Milling, as a separate industry in this region of Solin, gained a special rise in the late 18th and early 19th century, when various forms of government encouraged the construction of mills. It was during this time that this Gašpina mill was built. And then, for the first time, the population of peasants and farmers participated in the construction of mills. During this period, mills were most likely built on the tributaries of the Jadro, on Ilin potok Bobanova and Judinova mill, and in the village of Blaca, which is located behind Kozjak, also Čerina mill, as well as these mills that exist today at river Jadro. At first glance, their size, the number of mills and mill wheels speak of the size and importance of the building themselves, but certainly Gašpina mill and Velika Galija stand out, because at some times they had up to 15 mills. Numerous documents tell us that they even brought grain from Čiovo, Šolta, and even Korčula to Solin, to Velika Galija, and then transported it to Gašpina mill, which testifies how large and important this milling and processing of flour and grain milling was. Gašpina mill is the only one that is visibly preserved in this form. In 2008, the city of Solin invested significant funds and restored and protected it as a cultural monument. Her long period of time ended at the end of the 19th century and beginning of 20th century, when she was completely destroyed. Its mills were shut down after the 1960s, when it once served as a glass grinder. In addition to Gašpina mill, the Velika Galija mill, which is located in the city center, also had flour production until the 1960s and 1970s. With its 15 large mills, it most probably has its beginnings in the Middle Ages, according to various documents mentioned by a great historian Domore Katić. He points out that in the Velika Galija we could look for those beginnings of the milling. Let's call it industry, related to the Croatian statehood or Croatian rulers. And on Lovre connects also Velika Galija with the story from the time of the Turks, when the Turks ruled this area. He states that according to some documents, Velika Galija is listed as a mill in the possession of Rustem Pasha, or later his daughter.